This is Monkey World, the largest ape and monkey rescue centre on the planet. With every animal comes a story. Some funny, some shocking. Dramas great and small. Today on Monkey Life, new recruit stump-tailed macaque Koko meets her first companion in years, old boy Gerald.
The worrying thing now is she doesn't really know what to do.
And there's a welcome arrival for golden-cheeked gibbon Peanut. Monkey World Ape Rescue Centre is home to 15 species of primates. Only 3 of these are part of international breeding programmes. They are the woolly monkeys, the orang-utans, and the golden-cheeked gibbons. Until now, it was just the woolly monkeys and orang-utans who had successfully given birth. But today the park welcomes its first baby golden-cheeked gibbon. The proud parents are Peanut and Julio. In the wild, these primates are classed as endangered, so this is great news for the park and crucial to the survival of the species.
It came a little bit sooner than we expected it to be honest with you. We're surprised for several reasons. First of all, Julio is actually very young. He's only about 5.5 years of age. So he would still well be with his mum and dad and his family unit in the wild. And she's not exactly over the hill either. She's only recently just gone through sexual maturity. So out of all the groups of gibbons that we've got here, these were the last we thought were going to be giving birth at this time. Baby is now 8 days old, so really proving to be a strong little thing. Clinging on, suckling away like mad, and mum is being perfect, absolutely perfect.
Gibbons are known as lesser apes. And while all apes and monkeys change in size, golden-cheeked gibbons go one step further. Although they're all born blonde, at around 6 months, they begin an amazing colour transformation. First, they turn black with golden cheeks. The males stay this colour, but when the females, like Peanut, sexually mature, they become blonde again, with just a black cap. Because they are so rare, there haven't been many studies of these gibbons in the wild, so this baby offers the perfect opportunity to discover exactly when and how the colour change happens.
We can now make a photographic flip book of the colour change, where it starts, how it starts, is it the back, the shoulders? So it's a beautiful opportunity to actually make a real document of exactly what goes on and when. We assume that the baby is blonde because mum's blonde and that's camouflage. But gibbons don't have a natural predator up in the trees, so where it comes from, who can tell?
The park doesn't know how much time Peanut spent with her own mother before being cruelly taken for the pet trade, so it's hard to say how much of her instinct is nurture or nature. But from these early stages, it looks like she's going to be the perfect mum. Dad Julio may be quite young too, but he seems to know just what his role is.
Julio has either been very severely told off on day 1, or he's doing a really nice job. He's just stayed away. He really hasn't had a lot of contact with Peanut for a while. In the first 2-3 days, nowhere near her. Second day, having a quick peer. You all right? Yeah, okay, I'm staying over here. I'm out of the way, though. And today, they've actually been playing and grooming. And he's like a little kid, though. He's getting bored, and he wants his attention, and he's not used to not having attention and someone to play with. So he's happy, but I just want to make sure that baby's happy, too.
Over at the chimp nursery, there's a young female who is having the time of her life. Johnny is quite a self-centred little chimp and can be a little precious. But she's also a sensitive individual, and when things get lively, she tends to keep out of the way. Recently, there's been a real change in the 7-year-old, and she's become a confident young chimp who's happiest in the thick of things. It could be because her only other female peer recently moved out, so Johnny doesn't have anyone to compete with. Also, at 7, she's starting to mature. Johnny is showing a slight sexual swelling. This could bring on a change in behaviour. Living with Johnny is a male chimp called Seamus. It'll be very interesting to see how Seamus reacts to her maturing. Though he's such a silly chimp, it's hard to believe he would know what to do with her. 5-year-olds Ben and Pip are gradually building up their confidence. They haven't been in the big outside enclosure for long. It used to be Pip who was the bravest of the pair, but now they've changed roles with Ben leading the way. For Pip, being female means she's cautious and considers the implications of being outside. She's well aware that her fellow chimps aren't always well behaved, but she probably worries a little too much. Johnny, on the other hand, couldn't be any happier, and these days she even has the privilege of being pampered by the dominant female. While Johnny enjoys this newfound confidence, down at the other end of the park, baby orangutan Dinda is about to embark on her new life with her orang family.
Hello, don't look at me like that.
She was rejected by her own mum, Roro. So a few weeks ago, the park tried to see if another adult female, Xiao Kuai, would care for her. Initially, the plan started well, but Dinda struggled to breastfeed, so the pair had to be separated. Instead, she's going to live with the nursery orangutan group. Last week, she met adult female Ame, who will hopefully become her new foster mum.
That's worth a sweetie. If that isn't worth a sweetie, I don't know what is.
As the meeting went well, she's now ready for the next big step, encountering her whole new family in the orangutan nursery.
Of course, Dinda's at the age now where she's just beginning to take an interest in life around her. You know, that age where all of a sudden she's aware of there are other things to do other than eat and sleep and poo. So she's beginning to push herself up and look at people and show interest in whatever's going on around her. So again, this is a good time to try and influence her to think orang rather than Mike. And here's an orang.
Meeting adults is one thing. A bigger challenge is the boisterous youngsters, especially Aris.
No, don't taste the baby. You're not going to eat it.
Ame is the foster mum of the orang nursery. She loves babies, so hopefully she'll be the perfect mum to Dinda.
Hello. Hello. Don't you do that. Don't be a madman. You're a nutter, you are. You tasting her for a reason? No, don't be silly. Don't be silly. Don't be silly, boy. I think he probably is just what he is. He's a very rough little lad. But that's okay. We love him anyway.
Everyone seems to be taking a keen interest in Dinda. Or is it Jeremy? Ame has no milk, so Jeremy will still have to come in at feeding times. But hopefully Ame and the other orangs can offer Dinda the rest of the support she needs. Xiaoning likes everything her own way, and if she's not the centre of attention, she'll make sure she soon is.
Excuse me, no, you used to have these sort of feeds, but you're not anymore. Go on, get out of it. She's desperately trying to get all this down before she loses it. Good, go and annoy someone else. Oh, gone. Oh, God. No, it's gone, it's empty, look, nothing. Believe me, it's all gone. Oh, we're going to have a temper tantrum. Oh, talk about big baby. You are a brat. You're a spoiled brat. Look. Go over. Hey, no, stop it. Stop it. Let me just... I know what I can find you. Come here. You're... Yes, please. Here, hang on a minute. It's all right, Mike. I'll stuff it down my shirt out of the way. It's gone now. No bottle. What bottle? Don't worry. Hey, look, do you want a sweet?
Jeremy knows the way to a primate's heart is sweets. And as they only get them on very special occasions, they are all eager for their share.
Ame, come over here, look. I've got sweeties. Oh, I thought that might get you over. Here we go. Hey, good girl. Now come back. Didn't buy me much, did it? That's sweet.
It's a good thing that Ame isn't paying much attention to Dinda. If she was too dominant, it would make it difficult for Jeremy to feed her. And despite the cold shoulder, Ame is much happier being foster mum to the youngsters than living with adults.
We need now to make this happen on a daily basis, and so that everybody can get used to everybody, and then Dinda can form her own place within this group. And, you know, then we'll have, as usual, we'll have the evolution of the group will revolve around that, won't we?
Living in the middle of Monkey World is a group of 4 capuchin monkeys. 17-year-old Gismo has been one of the park's most challenging individuals to rehabilitate. Unfortunately, some of the worst cases of abuse are right here in England. Gismo was one of them. Jim and Alison were made aware of him 2 years ago. They were contacted by the Ipswich Environmental Protection Officer, Elisa Davis. It's her job to inspect the living conditions of wild animals kept as pets. She felt that living a solitary existence in a filthy shed with no heat was not acceptable. Gismo had even begun eating away at his own tail.
Just terrible. He's already lost a fair amount of his tail. The question is, how much more will Mike Nathan have to remove in order to clean it up and tidy it up?
Sadly, Gismo did have to lose another 3 inches. But now, 2 years later, his tail has healed and he's finally managing to relax and settle in with his fellow capuchins. The primate care staff had to work very hard, and for keeper Julie, this long battle has been totally worthwhile.
We managed to get all 4 capuchins together. Got Tom, Terry, TJ, and finally Gismo. Obviously, Tom, Terry, and TJ have all lived together before, Gismo being the odd one out, and he has been a very fragile monkey. It's taken him a while to adjust to being a monkey and actually learning how to communicate with these guys and learn how to actually be the capuchin that he is. But he's getting there, and it's really wonderful to see him out and about with the other guys, although at the moment we have to admit that he's not tending to spend too much time with them. He's trying to stay a little bit further away from them, but each day he gets more and more confident, and each day he gets a little bit closer. When you get one that's had such an experience as Gismo, that he's really quite messed up, it really does play a bit of an effect on the rest of the group, because they don't understand his body language, they don't understand what he's doing. Sometimes they'll misread. All of them have actually come from backgrounds where they're never going to be normal capuchins, so they've all got their own little quirks and their own little stereotypical behaviours, so he will never be the monkey he should have been. All he can possibly be is the monkey he's striving to be, and he is getting more and more wonderful each day.
The newest monkey to join the park is stump-tailed macaque, Koko. Before coming to Monkey World, she lived alone in a cage for 20 years. But her life is about to change. Today she will meet another macaque. Integrating Koko is vital for her rehabilitation, and the team thought very hard about who she should meet first. They picked Gerald, with his gentle nature. No one knows if Koko had any macaque social skills, so anything could happen.
My ideal introduction is boring, when they ignore each other. You know, this sort of shouting eureka and going and giving somebody a big hug and all that sort of stuff, it's dodgy stuff, because it does happen, but it's a recipe for, if it's that emotional from the word go, then it can very easily go the other way. No, we've got Gerald waiting up there in the top area, and we're just going to let him down. We're just going to let him down next to Koko, and then gauge the reaction, and then basically make it up as we go along. If it's all positive, put them together, or we'll just see how it goes. Come on, Gerald. Come on, big boy.
You are good boy.
Gerald is interested in his new neighbour, and his initial reactions through the mesh are positive. Luckily, it seems that despite her 20 years of solitary confinement, Koko does have some innate behaviour.
She's lip smacking to him. She recognised what he is.
She's more interested in.
She knows what he is, though. Come on, Gerald.
So far, the meeting has gone well, so Jeremy opens the slide to allow them full contact.
Well, that's perfect, really, isn't it? She totally proved that she knows she's a macaque. When he came down, she instantly did the submissive lip-smacking gesture. That was textbook. She knows what she is. Don't you? Yes. Of course you do. But that was perfect. She behaved so perfectly. I mean, he's a gentleman anyway, which is great. That's why we chose him.
But unfortunately, Koko's macaque behaviour isn't as advanced as Gerald would like. And although he's a gentleman, he's becoming more and more frustrated by her lack of social skills.
You saw that then. He sort of did his walk by, and then he got up on the perch and did a He-Man, pose. I think she could have been a little bit more impressed. The worrying thing now is that she doesn't really know what to do, so she might give him the wrong message because she's so socially ignorant.
Gerald keeps trying to get Koko's attention, but it's not working, and he's getting more and more offended that his displays are not impressing her. He shows her he's angry, which confuses Koko.
Gerald? I'll have to break this up now.
Their squabble is quickly stopped and the pair are separated. Gerald goes back outside with the rest of the group, leaving Jeremy and a bewildered Koko to gather their thoughts.
The problem is she wasn't alarmed. She ought to realise that, she's been the dominant animal in her life because she's the only animal, and she has to realise that there is a pecking order here, and as the new kid on the block, you're going to be pretty low. We had positive interaction and then it went negative, so if we just do a lot of little introductions like that and encourage the positive and discourage the negative, then hopefully it will all happen in the not too distant future.
Back with capuchin Gismo, Elisa Davis, the environmental protection officer who helped rescue him, has come to see how he's getting on. It's the first time she's seen him in 2 years.
So different. His coat is shiny. He looks fatter, he looks happy. He's got fur on him, but the actual tail looks fatter. It's got all fur over it. He just looks a completely different monkey.
Although Gismo was neglected, he was actually being legally kept. Anyone in Britain can own one of these precious primates with the appropriate licence.
He had been previously licensed by the council for the past few years, previously to somebody obviously that I took over their job. I can't obviously comment on, the state he was in then or how long he'd been like that. But when I saw him, it just wasn't right. If we'd left Gismo where he was, I don't know how long he would have survived. I'm so pleased to see him like this. Really am. When I first saw him there, it was just heartbreaking, but to see him now, it's just so great.
It's nearly bedtime for the park's residents. And for the youngest members of the chimp nursery, Ash and Rodders, nightfall means an exciting new adventure. The pair are now a year old, and they'll soon live with the chimp nursery full-time. So animal manager Jeremy is keen for foster mum Sally to meet them. Sally is the dominant female of her group, and she loves babies. She's made it her role to care for all the infants who pass through the nursery. She teaches them about the complexities of chimp life before they move on to an adult group. She's been the perfect teacher, but lately it looks like she's been losing her status.
Because Sally she's a spoilt brat, and she isn't really bothered about the older youngsters, i.e. Ben and Pip. They've grown up a bit now. It's only babies that Sally really does. And of course, Seamus and Johnny are even older, so they're even more independent. And Lulu really is the policeman as far as those four are concerned, not Sally. So she's sort of evolved away, she's evolved herself out of a job. Sally's a bit like a fish out of water. She hasn't got the status in the group that she has when she's got little ones.
Jeremy hopes Ash and Rodders are exactly what Sally needs to regain her status. This evening will be their first overnight with Sally.
It's actually going to be good for her if I can sort of help cement a relationship between these two little ones and Sally. Then her status will benefit big time within the rest of the group. She's back in charge again, because at the moment she isn't really in charge. And we do like Sally to be in charge. Don't we, Sal?
Chimps, like most animals, can't resist a snack. So Jeremy has prepared a fruit basket full of their favourite goodies. Just like human babies, these two are wary of any change in routine. But Sally's a pro at this and leaves the pair to relax while she helps herself to the picnic. Gradually, Ash and Rodders realise that having a new roommate is quite good fun. Full of fruit, Sally again shows her chimp wisdom by building a huge nest. She's ready for sleep and tries to encourage the youngsters to join her in the comfy creation. But just like most little ones, sleep is the furthest thing from their mind. It's a good job Sally enjoys looking after babies, because it looks like she is in for a sleepless night. Next time, baby woolly monkey Julio leaves his life living with humans.
Tomorrow night, we've decided, is the first night for the rest of his life that he will hopefully stay the night with woolly monkeys.
And there's a shocking exit from the park for a capuchin monkey family. 18 months after their rescue, a court order means they have to leave. This is Monkey World, the largest ape and monkey rescue centre on the planet. With every animal comes a story. Some funny, some shocking. Dramas great and small. Today on Monkey Life, it's time for baby woolly monkey Julio to leave his life living with humans.
Tomorrow night, we've decided, is the first night for the rest of his life that he will hopefully stay the night with woolly monkeys.
And there's a shocking exit from the park for a capuchin monkey family. 18 months after their rescue, a court order means they have to leave. Monkey World is involved with a number of endangered species breeding programs. So far, 11 babies have been born as a result of them. Unfortunately, 4 were rejected by their mothers, so they had to be hand-reared by the primate care staff.
Turn around like this.
7 months ago, Alison took on the care of baby woolly monkey Julio. For the past 2 months, he's been introduced slowly during the day to his family in the woolly monkey house. In the evenings, he goes home with Alison or Mike. They have to make sure that while he's still so small, he's getting exactly the right nutrients he needs to grow properly. But tonight will be his last living with humans before he joins his woolly monkey family for good.
You can see he's sort of quite grown up. It's actually going to be his 210th day tomorrow, which makes it his 7-month-old birthday. He's physically big enough. He's feeding himself now very well. And he's getting on so well with the other woolly monkeys that it's time that he stays with them, really. And the first hurdle to that step is not just abandoning him, because that would be psychologically quite tough on him, is we'll get him to stay overnight with him. So tomorrow night, we've decided, is the first night for the rest of his life that he will hopefully stay the night with woolly monkeys. And I think he's going to be thinking, come on, time to go home, where's Mike or Allison? But yeah, that's it. He's going to tuck up with them, and I'm really hoping, fingers crossed, that he and Lena tuck up together. And if they do, he'll have no problem whatsoever.
Julio has grown into a confident little boy. He plays wherever he wants to, and the other woolly monkeys are very happy to let him.
He just pushes right past them. You know, they can be eating, and he gets in there to see if there's anything he wants. If he's walking through the tunnel, I mean, even Lavar, the dominant male, will step aside, step back for Julio to come through the tunnel. Yes, we're talking about you. So, you know, like babies in almost all primate groups, he's the cherished individual. He is looked after and given everything and anything he wants because he's a baby, and they seem to have taken him on, assimilated him into the group as if he were their own. I'm just pleased for him that they've sort of taken to him as much as, you know, Mike and I did. So I think he'll do well in there.
Monkey World has a policy that any animal they rescue is free to stay at the park to live out their lives with others of their own kind in a natural environment. But this is all about to change. For the first time in the park's history, a court order means a group of primates have to leave. It's a family of capuchin monkeys who were rescued just 18 months ago. Alison is devastated by the decision. She was heavily involved in their rescue mission.
It all started out when an undercover officer from the RSPCA decided to reply to multiple articles that he saw in newspapers and magazines, proudly advertising the fact that they had a baby capuchin monkey that was captive born in UK that they were prepared to rip away at the tender young age of 3 months. They asked Jim's and my opinion on this. We gave them that, and the RSPCA decided to proceed with an undercover operation to actually offer to buy the baby monkey and to set up a sting situation where the baby was actually brought to them and sold to them.
Anyone in Britain can keep and sell a primate with the appropriate license. The current law for keeping exotic pets is now almost 100 years old. And while Jim and Alison continue to try and get the law changed, it's the primates who suffer.
We've been asked to meet with them on the motorway near Chippenham to meet an animal dealer, a guy who's been breeding capuchin monkeys for sale and selling them for as much as 3,500 pounds. That's like $7,000. He's taking away a baby capuchin from its mom, which is how he sells them. And the RSPCA agrees with us that that is cruel, and the one thing you can do in this country is if somebody commits an act of unnecessary cruelty to an animal, that's illegal.
Well, we've just pulled into the service station where the meeting's meant to happen, and now we're just sort of waiting. It's really sort of the tense time because you don't know what's going to happen. Is the guy going to actually show up? So is he going to come? Will he have the monkey? Will we actually be able to get the baby off of him before he freaks out and runs off? I don't know. So we're all actually staked out here in the car park waiting for this guy to show up and not knowing really what to expect. Bit tense.
10 minutes later, the dealer arrived. He admitted to having the baby capuchin monkey in his car, and the police confiscated it.
The police have actually just arrested the gentleman who's here, and we're just waiting for them to drive away now so that we don't cause a scene out in the middle of the car park here.
It's now officially in your custody, okay? Okay.
The RSPCA needed Alison and vet John Lewis to identify the baby and give a visual health check before they could leave.
Pip, sweet. Tiny little baby. Yeah, let John have a look.
There's no physical wounds on her, but there again, you wouldn't necessarily expect that. She's clearly scared. She's got that expression on her face which says, what the hell is going on?
But she's quite young, isn't she?
She's very young, yeah, without doubt. And if you look at her now, she's clinging on to anything at all. It ought to be a mother, but she's just hanging on to terry cloth or whatever it is in there.
There's actually a cuddly toy in the box for her to cling to and stuff, but right now, like John says, she's so freaked out just by everything that it's going to take her a little while to calm down.
But this was only half of the story. While the dealer was met by the police, Monkey World's animal manager Jeremy and an RSPCA team in Wales were on the way to the dealer's parents' house. They wanted to see if they could find the baby's mother, as they didn't think mum and baby should be apart.
Now the next bit, fingers crossed, is over in Wales. How's Jeremy doing? So, got the baby, now we just need to get mum.
Clearly, we've got to get this baby back with its mum. So, first thing is to identify the mum. And if that's, not knowing what we're going into, that could be anything. I mean, if there's only one female, then it's obviously her. If there's a dozen females, then it might not be obvious if one's lactating, if one's got milk. So we're going to have to make some decisions when we get there. Equally, if it's a family group, a small family group, we don't want to split the family group up. So because we don't know, we've got to be prepared for everything.
If that leaves just the father, if he's there, then we'll take the father as well, because it would be cruel to leave one on its own. So the baby will be coming back to Monkey World if we're successful. Hopefully mom and maybe even dad. If there's any more, they're gonna have to stay.
With the baby safely en route to Monkey World, vet John Lewis also made the journey to Wales to join Jeremy and the team in the search for the baby's family.
Yeah, that must be mum and this is dad. So, not happy about taking the female, not the male. It's not going to be a happy bunny at all. There's no way that they can be living separately. No. So we're looking at a family group, and therefore they either stay together or go together, and I don't think they ought to stay here.
The situation is we've got a family group of animals. In fact, the baby's been taken from the mother, but it's actually in with the mother's in with the father. They're in reasonable physical condition. The facilities they're in are not terribly cramped, but it's filthy, and there's no facility for separating them or dealing with them in any way at all. Given that we think the baby's been taken away far too young from its mother, and so in order not to leave one animal, one adult on his own, all three are going to be confiscated until the outcome of the legal proceedings. So we have to take the male and the female now.
It's been 18 months since the Monkey World team confiscated the capuchin family. Since then, they've been living happily all together in a more natural environment. But recently, the case has been to court to decide whether the monkey's owner had treated them cruelly, and now they have a ruling.
What the RSPCA were hoping is that they could prove that the standards in which and the methods in which this man was using to breed and sell his monkeys were indeed actually cruel. So regardless of the law being legal for somebody to buy and sell the monkey, what he was doing was an act of cruelty, and that was their case. So it was wholly unnecessary, basically, for this man to breed a monkey and then to forcibly, when the mother's looking after it perfectly and feeding a 3-month-old infant, to forcibly tear them apart just so he can make a sale. The legal system, of course, takes quite a long time, and I think it was about 9 months or even more before the court case was actually brought to trial. So, we had Bonnie and Clyde, and by that point we had named the baby Andy at the park for quite a long time, and everybody grew very fond of them, and they adapted magnificently to their new environment, flying around their enclosure, playing wildly together, perfect family unit.
But the court eventually ruled that even though suffering had taken place, the dealer had not caused unnecessary suffering by taking the baby away from its mother to sell it. And now, all the capuchins have to be returned to their owner.
It breaks my heart for them is the fact that, our keepers spent more than a year looking after those monkeys, making sure that they were happy and healthy, and they were. I had to tell them that they had to give them up. And, we're very proud of the fact that monkeys and apes that come here have a good retirement home, and that it's usually forever. Sadly for Bonnie and Clyde, we were ordered by the courts to return them. We're still here, and we're still going to fight and campaign to stop the trade. And I don't expect that Bonnie and Clyde will be the last capuchins that we're asked to come and assist with.
Yeah, personally, I'm just hoping that with something of this nature that the people who actually enforce the legislation, the law, can, look at it, be more open-minded, be more considerate to the actual emotional welfare of a family group. That family group of capuchin monkeys are having a nice time together. They love each other, they're sound, they're solid. If only that, then this hasn't all been in vain, because it's all a horrible thing to have to go through. It's dreadful for the monkeys. I mean, we're supposed to be the intelligent animal, for goodness sake. I mean, really, it's a bit of a farce, isn't it? It really is. It's just so sad to me. People wonder why I isolate myself here. When you look out there, oh, goodness me, I don't want any part of it, thank you very much. My conscience is clear.
In the main orangutan enclosure, Tuan and his group are busy with 2 puzzle feeders. Orangutans are highly intelligent animals and enjoy problem solving to get their food. First on the scene is 11-year-old female Lucky, and she's keen to check out the new objects. But big male Tuan is still far more interested in his lunch. Roro has spotted the second feeder, but frustration seems to be getting the better of her. Lucky has quickly worked it all out. On the menu today is apple, lemon curd, and peanut butter. Hanging the pole from the frame makes the orangs work for their treats. Their long arms and short legs make them perfectly designed for tackling the feeding poles. And at last, Roro's cracked the puzzle. But 22-year-old Tuan can only sit and watch. The girls are dominating the feeder, and he's just too heavy. Female orangutans weigh half as much as the males, which makes them extremely agile when swinging from the flimsy branches in the wild. But with the treats going fast, Tuan is determined not to be left out. He tries an alternative strategy: muscle power and a firm jaw. But it's no good. On the other pole, Lucky uses more successful tactics to get at the prize. With nothing more than a mouthful of splinters, Tuan heads off to join Lucky on her pole. And it looks like things have finally clicked with the big man. And he gets his turn, tasting the treats. Over in Hananya's group, concern is growing for one of the female chimps, 10-year-old Jolene. She's been unwell for a couple of weeks, and with a strange collection of symptoms that come and go. And unfortunately, she's just not improving.
She's acted very depressed. Some mornings she is quite slow. Some mornings there's a bit of stiffness about her. And there's this complication or this range of symptoms where little stiffness, but it seems to come and go. We have flare-ups with the skin where we get all of a sudden swelling, and she's lost hair on her head. We're getting swelling around the eyes, some swelling around the forehead. Now, sometimes around now her ears. It seems like it's progressing. She's been given a range of treatments already. But right now, she's in the middle of a real bout of whatever this is. It's not nice for her, but she is having a problem right now. John and Mike are here right now, and now's the time to find out. John, you see the difference in her now, don't you, than when you were last here? It's pretty dramatic.
When I last saw her, Jim, she had no swelling, and it really was a case of telling me, well, you should have seen her last week. And now she's got obvious swelling. I've got something to work with. I've got something to biopsy. We've got an animal that's actually in the throes of some kind of clinical problem, and that's when blood pictures are more likely to show what it is. So, yeah, it's more to work with.
Chimps, like many animals, are good at hiding if they're in pain. It's a defense mechanism. The team are worried that Jolene is extremely ill, but she's just not showing it.
I don't think she's going to do it.
Jolene is darted with anaesthetic, and once she is asleep, a full investigation can take place. John needs blood samples so he can test for infections and organ function. He'll also do a white blood count to test for immune problems. X-rays may also shed light on the stiffness in Jolene's joints. John will also take skin biopsies from the affected areas.
Very old. That is a grooming patch.
Some chimps do get grooming patches. Grooming is a popular and important activity in chimp society, and some lower-ranking members get over-groomed, which can lead to distinct patches of hair loss. But Jolene is a well-established female, so it's unlikely these patches are from over-grooming.
But this, you see,
This,
here,
It's those ones.
do they just spontaneously occur? do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's one here as well.
See there, that must be a fresh one, surely. This one here. Had you seen this before? Don't suppose you have.
No.
And there's one right on the top of the head here. Little area of ulceration.
The skin samples are cut away so they can be sent for analysis, but the size of some of the cuts require stitches. The team can be confident Jolene's had a comprehensive battery of tests. Now they'll keep their fingers crossed that the diagnosis is not life-threatening. Since it began, Monkey World has worked with 15 governments worldwide, and now they're about to break new territory. There's a chimpanzee that needs rescuing from Mexico. Brian is 3 years old. He was stolen from the wild in West Africa and was being trained to be a beach photographer's prop. With the help of Jim, Alison, and animal conservationist Gloria Fraser, the authorities confiscated him. He's now safely living at an ecological park until he can come to Monkey World. It's been a year since the mission to rescue Brian began, and it hasn't been easy. Firstly, nature intervened when Hurricane Wilma hit Cancun. It took several weeks before anyone could confirm that Brian survived the storm. But since then, official paperwork and transatlantic bureaucracy has been a much bigger obstacle.
Gloria, it's Jim. You have all the paperwork for Brian. You need a letter from us?
Yes. I don't understand why, but the law in Mexico is very difficult sometimes to understand.
We'll send you an email today.
But every time you go there, they want something different.
Will that be the final letter?
That, who knows?
We found ourselves in a position where the British government, trying to do their job, asked so many questions of another government. You know, it became the long, lengthy list that what would happen is, where you thought you were going to get them quickly, you see it drifted away. Because there's 10 questions, 20 questions, 30 questions that aren't going to help. And eventually, we got so frustrated by all this and so worried about Brian that we met with the officials in the British government. We met with our MP, Jim Knight, who organized the meeting. And we've come to an agreement. We've all accepted that when it's welfare, when it's suffering, do it right, but do it quick.
And with arrangements in place, Jeremy can finally begin work on a special travel box to transport Brian back to Monkey World. Next time, the team make the 5,000-mile journey to Mexico to meet Brian.
Hey, Brian!
Good boy. Come here. Good boy you are.
And it's not just this chimpanzee that needs their help.